Hi, I'm Dan from Evolution Support Services, and welcome to this EFT tapping on healing codependency. Now, codependency is more of a behavioral learnt issue. It's not classified under the DSM, so it's not a mental illness. But as EFT tapping works to downregulate stress, it's merely that, this EFT tapping, to downregulate some of the stress around these emotions. But it's always good to work with a licensed professional to help relearn some behaviors that may have served a purpose at one time, but are more impeding our life than creating success. So we'll do 3 rounds of EFT tapping, just following that along and tapping on the points. We'll also check in with our SUD scale, our subjective unit of distress scale, with 10 being the most amount of intensity that you can feel or stress around being or having codependent behaviors, and 0 being no stress at all. And we're trying to bring it as close to 0 as possible, but sometimes it will go up as we touch upon an emotion before it goes down. So if you're willing, let's do an EFT tapping on healing codependency. And our last EFT tapping round will be a positive round. Repeating after me. Even though I have some codependent behaviors that I might not be aware of, or I may have some awareness that this relationship, this family dynamic, I'm more there for others than anyone being there for me at all. And I choose to love, honor, and accept myself, even though I have this feeling, this emotionally drained feeling, this scared feeling, this longing to be loved, this craving to be loved by this person who gives me those glimmers for a storm of rage. And I want to see more of my light shine from within. And I choose to love, honor, and accept myself, even though this codependency may have seen me trying to please others and care for their needs, and it's worn me out, and I'm not sure who I am as a person. And I choose to love, honor, and accept myself. I'm always there for others. I really can't say no. It really feels wrong to say no. When someone asks something of me, it feels wrong to say no, because I have to fulfill that need. And if I don't fulfill that, I have this bad feeling within myself that I'm letting them down, letting everyone down. And sometimes I feel like a letdown. And in my own eyes, there's some behaviors that are telling me that I'm not there. No, I'm not supposed to be there for my own needs. And that my needs don't matter. And the only way that I'm of worth is if I can prove my worth to that person constantly demanding of more of myself, to be perfect, Because if I get something wrong, I'm a failure in delivering of my service to their emotional needs. And I feel berated. And I'll definitely learn my lesson the next time. So I don't get those harsh words. So I don't get that punishment. But I do what I can do so that I can get some love and then I can get some care. And it kind of feels like I have to go through hell and back just for a glimmer of heaven, for a feeling of peace, for a feeling of being accepted in someone's eyes, and to be accepted within my own. Because I fulfilled a purpose, and I was of service, and in that moment I was of worth. And those moments are fleeting, and I've become dependent on those moments. And I've started to learn that it's better to be seen and not heard, but to be on hand when called and required. To make people pleased, and if I have emotions that are displeasing, these are the times that I'm not to be seen, and I'm not to be heard. And this doesn't make me feel good. And I'm bringing awareness to this in mind, body, and spirit. Let's take a full breath in. And now, just moving the body around. If you've had a SUD score before, that score between 10 and 0, checking in on that. If you haven't done the SUD score yet, that's okay. Just choosing a number between 10 and 0, seeing where you sit. Maybe it's gone up, maybe it's gone down, and not judging of that, just being aware of it and taking full responsibility for your own well-being. We've got 2 more rounds. Even though this codependent behavior has robbed me of my independence, of who I am as a person, and my needs and my wants, I might not be really sure of that, because I really had to be there for others and not there for myself. And I choose to love, honor, and accept myself. Even though I may have become enmeshed, become part of what this person is, and less of who I am. And who I am as an identity may be shamed, may be laughed at, and may be blamed for daring to be different and separate myself from this enmeshment. And I choose to love, honor, and accept myself, even though I may have resentment around being in this enmeshment, around having this awareness that I was there to be used and abused, rather than to be loved and cared for. And I choose to love, honor, and accept myself. All this identity, all this in service of someone else, I've tried to control so much of my environment. If I know what triggers them, I'll really try not to push that button in order to keep safe. And I've gotten to know them more than they know themselves. And sometimes that lets me down. Because even though I know better, me knowing that is separate to them knowing that. And they might fear that separation. So any form of self, any sense of self, of who I wish to be, is there in that codependency in service of their needs. Don't drift too far away. And make sure I always respond to their texts, even when I'm trying to do something for myself. And it might be fine for them to do what they want, because they're clearly doing it all the time. But any form of separation of myself may show me as a cold person, an uncaring person. Because if I dare to separate, I'm not there for their needs. So draw me back in and pull up another table at the bar. There to be used, there not to be seen. Just part of the furniture. And this may show up when I'm out with people. And it's fine for them to talk. But if I have an opinion, if I have anything of value to say, I might be mocked. I might be devalued. And this piece of furniture needs to know its place, to be seen and not heard. And this resentment, this anger within, may be the body saying no. That I do have my own sense of self. That what I have to say is of value. That me as a human being is entitled of my value. And is entitled to say to others, if you're here to abuse, go see the door. And feel free to talk to the other side of it. Because within my sense of self, I start to develop what I want, and not to be of want. To know what my needs are, and not to be someone else's needs. And to be here for myself. And to know that's not selfish. Caring for myself is self-care. And I'm growing some awareness within myself that it's okay to care for myself and to have my needs separate of someone else. And to know this anger wasn't there from a caring person. And I'm here to heal this in mind, body, and spirit. Taking a full breath in and out. Let's move around. And just checking in with your SUD score once again. Perhaps it's gone up, perhaps it's gone down. And our last round ending with a positive. So taking full responsibility for your own well-being and repeating after me. Well, let's go with that flow. Even though this codependency that I'm aware of, these behaviors that I have, I can start to change. Nothing is forever, and I don't wish to carry these behaviors forever. And I choose to love, honor, and accept myself, even though I might bring in some interdependency. I might be dependent on myself, and know that there's some relationships where there's give and take, and it's a healthy give and take, not just simply take. And I choose to love, honor, and accept myself, even though I've got a chance to really get to know myself, to really get to relearn who I am and what I want in my life, and what desires bring me joy, and who I am truly as a person and as an identity. And I choose to love, honor, and accept myself. I'm being here for me, and I'm getting to know me. I'm getting to learn new behaviors. And there's going to be other people out there to help me on my discovery of self, on my recovery of self. And it's going to be quite a journey, because I might have learnt these behaviors from childhood. So I can't wave a magic wand and relearn a whole new mindset overnight. I want to build the foundation, build a new sense of self, build new behaviors where I know I'm of worth, and I don't seek out relationships or be in family dynamics that take off that worth. And I get to learn of my boundaries. And I get to learn, scarily, how to enforce them. And I get to be brave and proud of myself, of what the bravery it took. I felt the fear, and I'm still here, relearning me. And I'm learning to unlearn some old behaviors. And I'm learning who I am at last. And I'm giving myself compassion in that. And I'm not being too judgmental of myself. I'm learning new ways to not teach myself through disciplinary action, but to be the pupil and the teacher in one, going along this journey of life, through the pitfalls, and giving myself the encouragement that I deserve, and giving myself the love that I deserve, for simply taking a step forward on who I want to be. And as part of a community, my sense of self may set to improve that. And maybe someone in this community will connect with me, but not through codependency, through an interdependency, where I've learned to care for my needs, to put that oxygen mask on my face first, before tending to the needs of others. And I'm growing within myself that sense of self, in mind, body, and spirit. And taking a full breath in and out. Stretching, getting a bit of movement, being a bit tense, not intense. We touch upon stress. We'll let stress go. And yes, thank you for taking part of that EFT tapping. Whether your SODS has gone up or down, um, just know that it's a healing process, and it might take a few goes with this EFT tapping video, or I can't think of the word, but otherwise booking in one-on-one. It's going to bug me now that I can't think of that word. But yeah, it's knowing that we are of value, we are here for our value, and people may feel we're entitled to that, but it's only merely a belief that they feel that they're entitled to it, and we can change their beliefs by knowing that we're here for ourselves and not there to be freely taken off. So yes, I'm Darren from the Flesh and Support Services, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.